So, yeah, I don't know if Dave is joining. Seems to be offline in Slack. So let's get slowly started. And welcome everyone to the working group meeting. So far, only these 2 points on the agenda: integration of the FIP stem cell and then this possibly obsolete ops file. So let's start with the interesting stuff. We decided last time that we want to try to integrate the FIPS validation pipeline into the CF deployment release pipeline. And the basic idea was that we use the same approach as for, oops, oh, I still paused this. Same approach as for the update Windows 2019 stem cell. So we have this this complex approach to update the stem cell, the default stem cell in the CF deployment base manifest. Yeah, so the default Ubuntu Jammy. This is rather complex, and there's a fast lane built in. If the minor version increases, then it's automatically released and so on. We don't need this for FIPS. So the easier approach is that we have a separate ops file. We check for new versions here. This is the Bosch IO resource, which just checks for a new version of this 2019 stem cell. And then there is a simple small ops file where, yeah, okay, good. This does a bit more, but somewhere here is in this, let me show you the file. Operations, Windows 13. So it does a bit more because other things have to be adapted, but here we do have the, yeah, this is it. This replaces then, or the Conquest job replaces this version so that you get the new Windows 2019 stem cell. So, and now one idea is to use pretty much the exact same approach for FIPS. So I started with that. So we have an update FIPS stem cell job. It is triggered by the Bosch IO resource, the one with authentication. And then there is a small ops file, just a few lines, which maintains the version. So don't get confused. Operating system is the same. This makes things a bit tricky. We don't have a clear separation here, but that is fine. The idea is that we then use this ops file as trigger for the CF deployment pipeline. So it would we would push the updated ops file to the develop branch, then the whole pipeline would be triggered. And then we have one more lane which uses this version as stem cell, or which does a CF deployment with this particular ops file, so that we get the latest FIP stem cell and does the usual validation with cats and so on. Yeah. Any questions? Or everyone
No,
confused?
sounds.
So I tried to summarize all the subtasks in this issue. No, here. No, also not here. Here, this, yeah. So these are roughly the steps that I identified. We can refactor this runtime CI task to extract the Windows stuff and make it more generic. That should be easy. And then we have here, yeah, this is the concourse job definition I just showed. It's already working, but this does just handle the ops file update. So the rest is still missing. Yeah, Carson, you had a question, why add this new ops file when no one can use it? Yeah.
You could maybe rephrase it. You cannot use it, but this is how you can integrate a FIPS stem cell that you have somewhere just as a template,
Yeah.
or as documentation. So
Yeah.
And behind the scenes, we use it for this pipeline. Would be an option at least too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
So the
you use it
yes,
for a FIPS stem cell if the version is specified. I don't have a good grasp of how the version would be the same or different across different FIPS stem cells. Would that matter?
I guess they are different because they come from different builds somewhere, right?
Yeah.
These versions have nothing to do with an Ubuntu version, or it's just the next build version. So yeah, the version has to be adapted then by this customer. Honestly, I don't know how a FIPS delivery looks like at a company, because we don't have such thing yet really set up. We also have only a few preview versions here and there. Whether it's delivered every week or every year or every 5 years, I have no idea.
Yeah. So the only input we have is this Bosch IO bucket with authentication, and that's what we have to deal with for now. Yeah, and what's really confusing is that we use the same stack name, which makes something easier, but other aspects quite confusing. So this is a bit broken. Yeah, but okay. Yeah, so it's everything is a bit hacky. This is true, but this approach at least would give us a clearly managed version, so that we know what has been validated and yeah.
I mean, alternatively, we could also move this ops file into a separate folder that is part of the CI, and it doesn't show up as a documented ops file that you can use.
Folder where? You mean out?
It's now in operations experimental.
Operations test, perhaps.
Sorry?
Yeah, for
operations
instance.
Test, perhaps.
Yeah.
Operations test.
Could move it there, right? And that's then a because it's right. This ops file as is, nobody can use it, right? Because the version is bogus.
Yeah, you can't really use it unless you manage the upload of the stem cell by yourself somehow. But okay, yeah, if you move it out of the way, that would be.
I like that suggestion. That I forgot about that directory until you mentioned it, but that's specifically for testing rather than being recommended to be used in production environments. So it does fit.
Okay. So this will harm no one. Testing not meant for production environments. Okay.
Which is a bit ironic, I guess, when you're talking about FIPS, right?
Okay.
But the ops file, not FIPS. Is not meant for production environment.
Yeah. Okay.
You can add a sentence in the description in the README why it is here, and that's
okay. Then let's move it there, and then I move this merge this pipeline into that. And then we have it integrated. Okay. Fine. Anything more regarding FIPS?
What environment is it using right now? Is there a FIPS environment? Oh, there is. FIPS Snape. Okay, cool.
That's FIPS Snape, precisely, yes.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah. This is your, what is it? Was it GCP or AWS? No, it was AWS, I think.
Okay.
Well, anyway, separate environment. Yeah, we set this up some time ago together with Dimitar.
Yeah.
So that's all fine. Okay, good. Then I will do this, move the ops file. So then this service binding, disable interpolate service bindings.
Yeah.
I answered it on the, I mean, this ops file itself, we may delete it or not. This is not so important, but I think we should still keep the cats because in our environments, we use CF without a CF CRET hub. We still have the Bosch CRET hub to deploy everything, but for service bindings, we do not use. So we want to know that it works without interpolate service bindings. We could consider to, let's say, change it and have here more an ops file that removes CRET hub. That would be, let's say, more in the direction that we think. We do have such an ops file internally, and maybe we can contribute. I think we had it on our plan to do it one day, but yeah, it was just never important. But now you brought it up, that's why I commented on it. And then we can...
That sounds nice. I guess I'm less concerned about that than I was about the cats anyway. The background for why I was actually asking is because I tried to investigate why cats seem to be flaking a lot in some of the service bindings tests, which I would say is like its main flake area. It just somewhat regularly cat seems to flake in the service bindings tests. And from what I can tell, and I do not understand this, it seems like at least the one flake I was investigating, it somehow pushed the app that was meant for the non-assisted, i.e. service bindings disabled, when it meant to push the app that was meant for the assisted, service bindings enabled. Somehow that seems like there's it's like running both of those tests, and I don't really know why. So I haven't entirely figured that out, but that I was like, easy solution. I'll just delete half of the test if no one's using this. And that was why I asked that, especially when I saw that the ops file that turned it off was like 7 years old with no changes. So that's where that came from. We don't need to delete the cats test. It's not that big of a deal. If y'all want to actually make a ops file that is what you're using for the remove CRET hub thing, that sounds great. No pressure ultimately.
Did you mean this?
No, this was different. This is just me trying to like mess with it to make it not flake. But I actually think the problem is not with the CRET hub service broker anymore. I think it's with the other apps.
Okay. So we want to replace this with an ops file that disables CRET hub entirely.
I think we have a possibility to, let's say, for dev environments, usually you don't need a CRET hub. Makes it smaller, it makes it nicer, and it would address our needs. And in CAPI, I looked it up. There's always a test if CRET hub is enabled and service interpolation. So there are both conditions in. So I wondered whether we have this interpolation on in our landscapes, which could lead to side effects if somebody uses the syntax, right? Then strange things happen. But no, if no CRET hub is in the landscapes, then this interpolation is also switched off in Cloud Controller.
Right. If y'all are doing the no cred hub and turn this off case, we could, if you update the ops file to include the no cred hub case or add a new one for it, then we could test that in the experimental fan out as well, which might be valuable.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's something we could consider.
Oh, and test it in.
Test that and test both those ops files, right, in the AW. Just, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, maybe we can reuse our ops file, but
just as
maybe.
a starting point, let's see what comes out.
Okay. Good. Anything more?
I added two more items, but phase train might be okay.
Cats pillars to CFCLI changes. Yeah. Was that with the added units, 0B instead of 0, or?
Yeah.
That one was funny.
That was funny, yes. Somehow funny.
Very strange, yeah. I saw someone from SAP made that PR first, but then they were like, we're not actually sure, is this a real problem or is this is this a cats thing? Like, what's going on here? And I think we discovered that it was just a cats thing. It's a bit of both. I think you could have, a stickler for the rules could have called this a breaking change by the CFCLI that maybe shouldn't have been pulled in on the V8 branch. But whoever is managing the CFCLI these days decided to call it not a breaking change and said, no, this is fine. So in which case we needed to adjust our regex. So I updated this PR to also fix the Windows one and then merged it. Interestingly, it seemed like it took a while to identify that this byte fumped thing was the problem because we looked at the set of changes. We said, we think this byte fump thing is the problem. Let's roll back to the old CFCLI and then it should start succeeding again, right?
Yes, but it did not succeed.
It did not succeed. And it turned out that the older, at least the one patch version older CFCLI had accidentally been replaced with a newer CFCLI that had the old version, but the newer code. It was the SHA from right before. If the newest patch was like, so it was like 8.7.10, right? Was the newest patch. We rolled back to 8.7.9 and we found that packages .cloudfoundry .whatever had been updated such that the CFCLI labeled 8.7.9 was actually 8.7.10, but labeled as 8.7.9 somehow. So it was like, I don't still have no idea how that happened.
Makes impossible.
Pretty not great. Yeah. So that was a little scary. I had to run. I was getting really confused, so I ran a go version -m. I don't know if y'all have run that command before. It's like Golang can reveal the source of the binary and like display every package that was compiled into a Go binary, as long as it's not obfuscated, as well as showing the like VCS info. So it'll show you the SHA and like the build and like the time of the SHA, of the commit SHA, and like a bunch of other things. And as soon as I ran go version -m on the 8.7.9 one, it was like, oh, wait a second, this this commit SHA is the 8.7.10 commit SHA. Like this is the new. It took so it was weird, and I don't. As far as I know, Al and others still don't know how that happened. They were messing around with the pipelines, but yeah, it's weird that it both overwrote it and overwrote it with a newer version. And then on the other side, we've got the breaking change. So a few other, like a lot of things happening together. Breaking, it's not breaking in this case.
Yeah, it hit us when we tried to reset up the copy pipeline, and then we don't know anymore what we were trying to fix, the pipeline or the cuts or cloud controller. And that became a bit challenging.
Yeah, this is 879 changed. 879. Okay, good. Yeah, but now with the actually quite
with the changes, it seems fine. Yeah,
it's fairly simple, but yeah, of course. Okay, so yeah, we have that fixed now. There's nothing more to do, I hope, for now. Hopefully. Okay, something's wrong with our update release pipeline. Oh no, what is wrong here?
all of the environments have been claimed since April 8th. So none of these update release jobs have been able to run since April 8th, I think. I don't know what's going on with it. I don't know what triggered this. I noticed yesterday that some of the claim jobs had expired, and this morning I noticed the same. So I right before this meeting like went to go check, and it seems like none of these locks have been changed in a little while. And I don't know what happened there. Why are you in CF smoke test? Oh,
here you can see who acquired the lock, which job.
Right. That's still the update releases pipeline though. That's just the CF smoke tests job.
Yeah. We have these four pools for which should actually only be used by the update releases pipeline.
Yeah.
By the update infrastructure jobs. And I'm just wondering.
Yeah, it seems like none of them have been updated in about at least 3 days, and one of them not for like 4 months. So 2 months. So
last. But wait, this looks as it looks quite normal.
I think the issue is that no one's unclaiming them, right? Because if you look at the last thing, build 113 claimed it for CF Linux FS4 3 days ago.
Yes.
And let's see.
And I mean, if you check the corresponding unclaimed, okay, this is a bit tricky because files are moved around. But you see that unclaiming.
Well, you're going the opposite direction, right? You're going older.
Yes, to check if, or I mean, to confirm that locks have been unclaimed every now and then. So,
how about this? If you look at the update releases pipeline right now, you're gonna see like a bunch of in the update base releases, for instance, all those things are trying to claim releases, and nothing is actually running. Like no, none of the.
Okay, now I get your point.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, this one has been waiting on a lock. Okay,
For like
yeah,
2 days.
right.
Yeah.
So then indeed we have a problem. So first thing, the timeout is wrong. I would say after 12 hours or so, it should time out and turn orange. Then we see that we have a problem as for the other logs.
Yeah.
Okay, let me write this down.
One of them did time out. I don't know exactly how, but the acquire syslog lock timed out after 18 hours, and that's how I noticed that this was a problem. But it seems like the other ones are going way longer, so I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, okay, I will check that if the timeout is set correctly. So
and then
good.
the quick fix would just be to go and unclaim all of the pre-dev environments. But
Yes.
I still maybe we want to try and understand why they're all claimed first.
Okay, good. Then let's check this. Check this again so we have update release pool claimed, and so let's check this one. Acquire CF Linux FS4. This is, I think, somewhere here. And so, okay, this is build 113, claimed the log. Okay, that's fine. Good, then let's check what happened here. So we have blah, blah, update on would retrieve bubble down pre-dev pool. So somewhere here, releasing lock.
This build that we're looking at ran before the acquire build that we were looking at. So I think that it claimed a lock and then never actually ran this thing for some reason. Because the claim was on April 8th, right? And the build we were just looking at was April 4th or 5th.
Yeah, this was April 8th. Okay, so we are talking about 188.0 and yeah, it claimed the log, but never triggered the actual update job. So this is a concourse problem. It could happen, could be caused by these CredHub certificate expiring, where you have to restart the CredHub Kubernetes pod. Not sure.
Yeah.
A lot of things can go wrong, I guess, if it's in a longer state, but there are no orange jobs anymore here.
Was that about 3 days ago? The CredHub
Not exactly
expiration?
8 days ago. So now let me check. If I trigger it now, what should happen? It should find version 188. And okay, this was the login. Let me click again. It should retrieve a version 188 and do all the stuff and then release the log again as usual.
Something about the stem cell. There.
Jobs.
Oh, right. There's definitely. That's weird.
Okay, yeah, now we are really in a bad state. Where
So the update stem cell miner ran
yes,
on April 8th as well, which somewhat coincides with all these things falling over. I don't actually know if they're related, but the timeline works.
but it
Because
should
April
wire.
8th, that
Yeah.
acquired all the pools, is right? That waits for all the pools, or does it only get one?
Only one. The major
Okay,
update requires all 4
all
pools,
the
but
pools.
runs
Okay,
very
got it.
seldom. So this just one and
It got it, and then
got it and released it.
yeah,
Oh, it's something different, and we do not have.
we do have resources in the stem cell that it's trying to pull from. So I don't know what's going on there, right? Because they use the stem cell that gets passed through the major version line.
We do have here. No, we just have this stem cell resource, which should just give us the latest GCP stem cell, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. Somehow, Concourse is in an inconsistent state. I mean, okay, we could fix this now by moving around the logs back to unclaimed.
Mhm.
Log cache, logregator. And
That one
also,
was 2 months old. Damn.
yeah, this is a bit hot. CF smoke tests, does it do?
Oh, I think that one was still within the update releases pipeline. It was just the CF smoke tests lock to update the like
Okay, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So I don't know.
can't
Pretty weird,
reproduce.
right?
Yeah, it's indeed a bit weird, yes. That some jobs log cache, likely the same, whereas log cache. So log cache is here. And we have April the 8th. We have the
Yeah.
host environment, and it's log cache 3012.
Yeah.
And
Seems like they were all at the same time,
yeah, not,
which seems to indicate some kind of event, right? It
hmm,
could have been the Cred Hub thing. I wonder if it was the Cred Hub thing combined with the stem cell thing, or maybe it was just the stem cell thing. Kind of spitballing here, but I
sure.
guess if we reduce the timeout on these jobs, then hopefully we would catch
Yes,
this earlier in the future.
really rich
Um,
timeouts. These should be reduced. Yes.
although I guess one thing it won't catch is a scenario where we had like if one or two of these environments don't get unclaimed for like 2 months, but there's still two floating around, for example, we might not notice that for a while
Yes.
because it'll just go
Indeed.
slowly. So maybe, I don't know, maybe we want some kind of separate job that's like watching these environments and checking to see if they're unclaimed. Like going red if any of them haven't been unclaimed in like a day or two. Uh, but or just automatically like unclaiming them for us. But does that sound like overkill or does that make sense? I'm
It
open to all
makes
opinions.
sense. Could do it on Git level and check if if the last commit in the claimed folder for one of the 4 environments is older than so and so many days. And I don't know, maybe there's a concourse resource pool way of solving that. Could be.
Because that's a native, yeah, concourse resource pool. That is a native concourse thing, isn't it?
Native concourse resource, but
Yeah.
not sure if maybe they have something to check for unclaimed logs. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. To fix it now, we would have to move those basically to the unclaimed. I don't know. Can you do that, Carson? Or
Can I work on adding this job or
no? I mean,
manually
just
unclaiming
unclaiming them
these?
for now.
Oh yeah,
Just
I can manually unclaim those right now.
manually unclaim them. Yeah, we don't have
Yeah.
a button to do that. Yeah, and yeah, not sure if we can reproduce this issue, but yeah, we can add some
Weird.
alert.
I think we
Okay.
should keep a close eye on it the
Yep.
next time there's a minor stem cell bump and see if this happens again. Because that could be one of the triggers. It was around the exact same time.
Yes.
Plus there's do you all want to stay on the line while I unclaim this one right now and we see if it actually runs? Because it might just not run like when you triggered it just now and it failed with this no stem cell thing. I don't know.
Okay, we can. Okay, then unclaim now, and we can check for a stem cell thing. But that mean get. Why is this gray? Well, indeed.
I just unclaimed Hoth.
Okay. Good. And let's
One
see.
of them should.
Claims it. So, system metric scraper. Good.
Yep.
Where's that one? No, it's not here. Oops. Yeah, here we are. Oh.
Oh
So,
no. Maybe it's still just running. Oh, it just finished.
yeah, this is fine. Okay.
Okay. Did it actually run the job?
Now
Oh,
that
yes. Okay, good.
And the stem cell. Do you know what's the difference between gray and yellow? You
Uh, I do not.
Okay, it says new version for yellow. Maybe there was in version 1.423.
That was the
And
new one.
the other one has version 1.390. Okay.
Oh, I mean that was run March 12th, right? So that's just an old job.
Older.
But
But this is right.
I do remember there is some weirdness with how these jobs like pick the stem cell. Something like we don't actually compile it with the latest stem cell usually, or maybe that was changed. I never remember this. It's so weird. It's like
Yeah, it is
Dave is
indeed
the only one who can explain this. It's
weird.
like if you compile a release on an older miner of the stem cell, it should work on the newer miner of the stem cell without recompilation. So
Yes.
we used to always use whatever the oldest miner was basically to compile all of them. But it looks like we changed that at some point. I wonder if that's introducing some weirdness.
Wondering why I see only two versions here. So it could have, yeah, okay, it's working as it should. Yeah, it could it have been simply a Bosch I/O hiccup
Yeah.
where some of those versions were not correctly registered. I mean, this can also happen from time to time.
Okay. It could have been.
Yeah.
I guess for now, I'll just release all the remaining locks.
And we check
And
the timeout so that we see errors earlier and
yeah. And then I'll keep thinking about whether there's maybe a job we could add to track the age of the environments.
okay. Yeah, okay. Indeed, I was wondering why there were no new updates here since 2 days, which is very unusual. At least backup and recovery sends 1 update per day on average. Yeah, but that of course explains it. Okay, good. Then let's keep an eye on that and fix it manually for now. Okay, any other business? Nothing?
Nothing really. Maybe a small heads up. Some colleagues of us who are dealing with databases approached me and said that very soon they will update the Postgres release to version 16. But I assume that this will normally go into the validation, and this no.
This will go through the validation. Normally, we should just observe the upgrade job. Does
They
it
normally give it to us as an ops file first so that people can opt in?
Yeah.
Or is that, at least MySQL usually gives us like an opt-in ops file for a little while that we can run in the experimental. And then when we promote it, that's when we test it everywhere.
Okay, and then remember where we use Postgres. I think in experiment.
Yeah, I think it is experimental.
So we have this in fresh. Only in fresh. That means we wouldn't test it in upgrade, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How did we do this last time? There was or was there only a major MySQL upgrade?
I think Postgres updates come, I don't know, every year or something like that.
Yeah.
Not sure we tested it specially then.
No.
Possibly.
I mean, the database update itself it's also not important that we test it, right? This is anyway handled outside in productive environments. You have them from the IaaS providers, and the update goes completely different.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with Bosch, etc. So it's more that if there should be, I don't know, a change in the SQL dialect, some incompatibility with queries or whatever, then we would notice it. So I don't think that we need here special update handling. But yeah, whether it goes via an extra ops file or just because a Bosch version update and that's why the newest version flows in and that's it, I guess. Yeah. But if there is trouble and it looks like database related, then this could be the reason. Just that we remember that's basically all.
Yeah, good. Yeah. Postgres update to which version was it? 16?
16.
Is coming. Good. Yeah, well, could explicitly mention it in the release notes at least. Yeah.
Then I need to update the README and CF deployment, which versions we support. But yeah, let's first have it.
Okay. Any other business? If not, then we are done. Okay, then thanks for attending. Have a nice evening or a nice day, and see you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.